All right, so Samuel, good to have you, and then we'll just get started now. Um, so basically, the first question I have here is, you are a product manager, and if you could just quickly start with briefing us how your journey started, and what it is like being a product manager. What was your fear when you got started, and how you were able to maneuver it?
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. So my journey has been quite long. I'll say it started from I traced my roots back to after I left secondary school. And I enrolled for a graphic design course where I was learning Corel Draw. Um, Fast forward from that, I think the immediate next thing was so like promise, I studied in photo. I graduated a couple of years back, about 2 years or so. Um, But while I was in my course, I was thinking, what am I going to do next, right? Or what am I going to do when I graduate? I started thinking very early on, right? And I was really interested in doing something data related. So I was looking at a database administrator. From there, I was looking at data science, blah blah blah. Um, but I think my first experience working in corporates was in my tunnel level. Um, I did some customer service work for a company called Venture Garden Group. It was contract based, so I didn't stay long there. After that, I think the next thing I can remember was when I actually got a chance to do data science properly at Octave Analytics. Um, then after Octave, I did an internship at Helium Health, um, doing growth there. After Helium Health, I got my first job as a product manager at Kaiglu, an e-commerce startup. Um, After Kaiglu, I did a bit of climate tech with the company, did another bit of e-commerce, then eventually did um, join InterSwitch. But basically, throughout my journey, I just summarize it into going from design to data to a bit of software development to product, right? And I think what is peculiar for me is there was always, apart from when I started with design, there was always an intention as to why I wanted to do the other thing, right? So for data, I wanted to do data because I felt data was at the heart of a company's growth, right? So that's why I felt like, oh, data would be nice to do. Um, then I did software development because I wanted to build products that I would say, oh, I did this by myself. Then I eventually went into products because during my internship at Helium Health, I figured that I had the skills to match both the development side and the business side together, and bring the most value to businesses, right? Which was why I ended up doing products. So right now I do products, and I am also looking to grow as well, to do other things around entrepreneurship, industry, things like that, right? So it's an ever evolving journey, um, just like everyone here on the call. So yeah, I think that's has been my progression so far. Um, Probably when we go into Q and A, I'll dive more deeper into specific questions or specific things I did. But at the high level, yeah, that's been my journey so far to product.
All right then. So I got one. I think I got about six questions. Over six. If you have your questions, you can just start dropping them now on the call. So the first one is, how do you approach tackling imposter syndrome in the no code tech niche, and push yourself to excel despite self doubt?
Is an interesting question. Um, So whether no code or code, right? Whenever you're joining a new place where you have very talented people there already, there's always this self doubt that am I good enough to be here, right? InterSwitch has a lot of talented people. very smart people, very experienced and knowledgeable people, right? And when you're meant to deliver work that is meant to match up to the quality of people that have these years of experience, right? Self doubt comes in, right? The imposter syndrome comes in. Um, but I think what you have to keep at the back of your mind is that you are growing and this is a challenge for you, right? Uh, because most people know where you're coming, when you're joining, most people know that you're probably new, you're not as experienced, right? You have sort of nobody, well, in my most of my experience, nobody's going to be hard on you, nobody's going to expect you to know everything or to be perfect, right? But I think it's an opportunity to take it upon yourself that I have been given this opportunity, right? I have to show that I am good enough to be here, right? So just try to channel that fear into like motivation to actually do the best that you can possibly do. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, basically, from that, I'm saying it is okay for them to understand that, look, I'm just starting, so I automatically would
Mhm.
not gather all of that years of experience already. Just keep learning and just keep pushing. Motivate yourself. That
Yeah, and any opportunity you have,
yeah.
always ask questions, right? The more you ask questions, the more you know. Learn from people around you that are more experienced as well, and be humble because truly you don't really know much. So be humble, right? Yeah. When I joined, I felt I knew stuff, but I didn't know anything eventually. So always be humble and try to learn from the more experienced people.
All right. So I have one year. While or when you got your first product management job, how did you go from learning and actually starting that role? At what point did you know that, okay, I am good enough to actually get started?
Um okay. So I don't know. I my first product management job was a referral, right? Um and I think the person referred me because the person knew that I had managed projects before. So I didn't necessarily have official experience as a product manager, but I had tried to build software with my friends before. Um, Gone through the whole requirements gathering, doing design, development, and pushing it live, right? And the person referred me knowing that okay, I could actually take this up. I had done product management courses as well, so I had some understanding about it, right? Yeah, so I just feel don't wait till you are perfect, or don't you can't be perfect, right? For you to say like you are ready to be full product manager, I don't know, just um seek for opportunities, internships, junior level programs, I don't know, try to build something with friends that you have, that engineers or designers that you have, but just try to start something, right? No matter how small, it could just be writing use case documents. And the more you search, I believe, um, definitely something will pop up. As long as you're consistent on it, right? Um, yeah, something will pop up. You eventually get the opportunity to start. There's always an element of luck, right, involved in these things. And then networks as well. So try to network with people who are product managers, people who are in human resources as well, um, people who are engineers, just people in the ecosystem generally that could speak for you in rooms where these opportunities are hanging around. So
All right. One key thing that I took note of is the fact that you documented your journey. So if you didn't put it out there that you were learning some of this thing, or this is what you could do, most likely people would not even know, or your friends or people that know you would not even know to refer you. My current job role, sorry, I was referred to. It wasn't like I really applied to. Someone referred me, like, oh, I know someone that can do this. So while they are learning, another thing that you should really take note of is documenting it. Go on LinkedIn, go everywhere, even your WhatsApp status as well. Network. And it brings me to the next question about networking. But before that, let's just take Demola's question. Demola, over to you. You can unmute and speak now.
Okay. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Hello.
can.
Yeah. Presently, I'm actually learning product design. Uh, so I'm new in, like I said before, I'm new in tech, and so I'd like to know what's the difference between a product manager and a product designer. So that's my question. And if a product designer, can you also be a product manager? Is it, do they correlate together, or it's a different skill entirely? Being a product manager from a product designer. I would like to ask you. That's my question.
All right, thank you, Demola. Samuel, over to you.
Yeah. So there are different skills, but I don't think anything is stopping you from learning everything at once. There are people online that do product management, can also code, can do everything, right? But in the world or in life generally, it's a lot better to have a niche where you're known for, right? But they are different. So product designers generally design products, right? Whether the product is hardware products, whether it's a software product. The person that designed how the Coca-Cola bottle looks like, now the person that designed the interface for MoneyPoint's new retail banking app is a product designer as well. But relating down to tech now, product designers are people who design how the interface of softwares we interact with every day, how it looks like, right? So product managers, on the other hand, so the way I is someone who makes sure that all stakeholders involved in a value chain um, realize the value that they want, right? So I'll just point for simplicity, I'll point out three major stakeholders, right? Customers, business, and your team. So the product manager wants to make sure that for the product that he or she is managing, the customers are satisfied, right? So the customers have what they want from the product. The business is satisfied. Um, so the business is making money or the business is getting whatever value they want to get from the product. And then your team is also satisfied. So the people that you work with are fulfilled, um, they are in tune, and they are recognized, right, for their contributions. So yeah, as to me, that's who a product manager is, right? So you are kind of orchestrating to make sure all stakeholders involved realize value. So there are two different skills, but there's really nothing stopping you from learning both. But yeah, it's a lot deeper. It's a lot better to deep dive into a particular niche. But yeah, I'm happy that you're learning product design. I feel like it's a great skill to have, because it helps you to look at products in multiple ways. So you're looking at it from a creative point of view. I want people to like what they're seeing and have fun using the app. You're also looking at it from, I want this to be functionally intuitive. So it should be simple enough to use, shouldn't be complicated. Looking at it from an engineering point of view as well, I want my developers to be able to build this um, without having too much headache. But yeah, hopefully you learn it as quick as possible and get into the field. Um, Ifyok, I think your hand was raised first, so you can go with your question. Then Mary. I hope I pronounced your name properly.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question is I want to know the difference between a product owner and a product manager. Those two roles, they seem to be alike. I want to know what
Mm-hmm.
actually is the difference between a product owner and a product manager.
Uh, so don't take my word for it, right? This what I'm going to describe now is purely subjective. Is the way I see it, right?
Okay.
Um, I would advise to just look at it as one role, right? So don't look at it as this product owner, product manager. Just look at it as a product manager role or a product person role, however you want to take it. In in many cases, the product owner is more.
Hi, Summer. We can't hear you again. Suddenly left too. I don't know if it was just me. Hello, Summer. If you're talking, you're muted.
All right, I lost my connection for a bit.
Oh my
Apologies.
God.
Um, but yeah, so for the product owner, they work more with the engineers, more of writing out users acceptance criteria, looking at technical side of things. Product managers more strategic thinking, so they are more thinking about the why. Why are we doing this? They relate more to the business side of things, right? But I would advise that you should just look at it as one thing. So if you are learning product management, learn both the technical side. When I say technical side, I don't mean how to code now, like how to relate to engineers, and things like that, writing user stories, acceptance criteria. Also learn the business side, how to identify opportunities for product growth, product strategies, and things like that. So I hope
Okay.
that answers the question.
Okay. Thank you very much. And one more question, please. Um,
Okay.
Scrum, being a Scrum Master, is it under product management?
So no, I'll say no. Um, so Scrum comes from the Agile framework. Um,
Okay.
Agile is like a I see these things as tools. So right. So you conduct your business normally, and then someone comes and says, "Oh, if you use this tool, your business would actually move faster." Right. So
Okay.
I see agile in that lens. So agile helps you be more agile in your business, basically. Right. And then a scrum master is meant to help facilitate agile within an organization, basically.
Okay.
So inside that agile self, there are like different these things, and Scrum is one of it. So Scrum Master is meant to ensure that Scrum rituals, agile processes are being done how they are being done in an organization for the organization to reap the full benefit of agile.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate.
No problems, Mary.
Okay, hello.
Hi, Mary. I'm with you.
Okay, okay. I am trying to get more like if you can throw more light on this product design and management that someone just asked. So basically, are you saying that the project
Mm-hmm.
like the project manager, he is his role is basically the management role and maybe let's say administrative role, and then maybe the product design are the real guys that do the stuff like the technical part of product management and maybe using the hard skills, using their skills and their technical skills to really do the project work, and then the managers are just basically to supervise what they are doing, because I know you can't manage on maybe they will just have, let's say, the fundamental ideas about the whole product. They are not the ones that do the main job. So I'm just still trying to understand about product design. That's why I just feel, I don't know. It's like
All right. So Mary, I was struggling to hear you, but I think I get the question. Sorry, can you help me mute? Sorry, please.
sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah, I
me
can hear
now?
you. Okay, great. So let me just answer the question. Um, I'm going to. Yeah, I can hear you. I got the question. Let me try and answer it. Um, I'm going to use an example to try and differentiate between a product designer, a product manager. I'll see if I can throw in Scrum and product ownership there as well. Um, so I and this company build software for um, so this let's use this Lagos New Rail, right? This company builds software for railway management, right? Um, as a product manager now, right? Your CEO or the head of your business unit comes to you and says, Samuel, we have a software, or let me not use Samuel now, let me use someone else's name. So if you're the product manager here, if you're we have a software today, right, that allows people to book a ticket and join the train, right? Um,
Yeah.
so the question the CEO gives to you now is how can we get how can we improve the experience of these customers and how can we put more features that we can use to grow our revenue on that software, right? Um, so that is your task as a product manager. So your task as a product manager is to figure out how can I grow the revenue of the company. So either by getting new features or finding a way to get new customers. And how can I also improve the experience of my customers so they can get on the trains faster? We have shorter lines, the process is smoother. They can even book train rides from their house, right? So that is your work as a product manager to figure that out. So fast forward into the future, the product manager has figured that out, right? And said, this is what we need to do. We need to do one, two, three for us to grow our revenues by X amount or whatever. Um, and then the product manager brings everybody together, right? And explains how what he feels we should do, right? Um, just so I bring in the product owner role here, right? So the product manager said these are or let's say the product owner is the one writing user stories, right? The product owner will go and write the user stories for those ideas or those features after they've been prioritized and also the acceptance criteria and discuss those as user stories and acceptance criteria with the product designers, the product engineers, and any other stakeholder, right? The product designer takes those user stories, those acceptance criteria, whatever flows maybe the product manager has drawn, and then the product designer goes into Figma, whatever software that they're using, or maybe starts from a paper wireframe first and starts to draw what this software is going to look like, right? They bring like a visual representation of what our software is going to look like. What buttons are the customers going to press when they click here? Well, what next will it show? Things like that. So that's the product designer. Then the engineers collect that design, right? And whatever other information that they've been given by the product manager or product owner, they build that software. At the end of the day, the whole team demos the software to the business, they launch the software, marketing tries to grow adoption and all that, right? So that is like a typical description of what a product manager is doing, a product designer is doing, a software engineer is doing, a product owner is doing as well in that team, right? So I don't know if that example has helped to differentiate the different roles. So everybody has what they are doing. No, nobody's the product manager is not just managing what those other people are doing, right? um, when they start working on those things, the product manager has to make sure that they are doing what they are doing right. But even before that, the product manager has to think about what they are even meant to do in the first place, right? So I hope that makes sense.
Yes, I think that's very good. So Mary, huh?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Mary, what is your own? Okay, okay, okay. All right. So yes. And then Mary, you can always type in the question as well. Okay, you can mention it. All right.
All
Yeah.
right, so Rufiat, yeah.
Everyone.
Rafia, just yeah. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Please, I want to
can.
ask that. I want to ask that. I need somebody that wants to go into tech as a newbie. How can you, like, maybe you choose a product design as a track and you choose another track, and like maybe you have like three or two tracks you are into. How can you do both tracks in which one will not coincide with another one? I think you get my point. Like, how can
Hmm.
you manage your time in learning both tracks so that you collate another one with another one? How can you manage your time management, and in which you are able to finish one before another one? That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
Um, so I think I'll ask a question back. Why do you want to do different tracks at the same time? So why not focus on one track, finish that track before you start another one?
Okay. Like for instance, like UI UX and product design, they are different, but there are some that they are interwoven together. Or which one is the best method? Is it that we should go into one before another one? Or is there a possible way that we can link the two together? Or
Uh,
like let me say sorry. And again, like digital marketing now. Maybe you are doing digital marketing and you want to go digital marketing include all this social media marketing, content creation. Maybe you want to do everything together, but you can't do it. I know that you can't do everything together, but you are trying to, maybe you say you should learn digital marketing to some extent, and you now say maybe you should bring another something that collates with digital marketing like content creation should bring this inside that niche. That's what I'm trying to say. That how can you, which advice can you give to a newbie that is into tech, something like that, about learning track? That's my question. Thank you.
all right. So for something like digital marketing that has content interwoven into it in a way, I believe the courses or the program that you are doing um, would structure the content in a way where it's one after the other. So they might start with general understanding of the web, then maybe SEO, um, email marketing, content marketing, and so right. Maybe Elizabeth will speak to if they have any digital marketing courses. But yeah, generally, I'll advise to do one thing at a time, right? So you won't get overwhelmed. Because it could be a lot, right? So if you're doing digital marketing, just start one track, whatever you're doing, whether it's content or SEO or any other type of digital marketing, just start one thing, finish learning that thing, and try to practice the first thing that you've learned first before you jump into something else, right? So if you learn content marketing, learn it properly, finish it, and try to practice the content marketing. Have something to show for the content marketing that you've, so it's not just a certificate, right? So once you've learned the content marketing, practice it, try to do something with it, right? If you have a business, try to promote the business with content. If your friend has a business, just say, ah, my guy, I just learned this stuff, let me use your business to practice and see if I can grow your customer base with it, right? So let there be value at the end of the day, that is given. I hope that makes sense, Rufiat.
Yes, it does.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate.
Let me quickly
All right,
take
Lulu.
some of the questions
Yeah.
I have so we can mix them. We're able to answer these questions and just also answer
Yes.
from Victor. Yeah, so
Sure.
from the networking part, somebody says, what are your go-to strategies for building a strong professional network that contributes to your growth and success in your current career?
All right. So I do different things. First, I go for events where I want to meet specific people, right? So if I want to meet engineers, I go for dev events. There are events that are free. There are events that are paid for. If you can afford the paid for ones, definitely. If you can't, then try to attend the free ones, right? If I want to meet product managers, I go for product management events. So that's one way. Once you go for the events, try to speak to people, right? Um, one thing I see is if people go for dev events, they always want to speak with the popular names, people that they see on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever, right? Everybody's trying to do that, right? And those people might not really, there might not really be a network there, right? They might not really want to listen to you because they have other things in their head. So try to network with people around you, like other participants, other attendees. You don't know where your helper is going to come from, right? It might not be the person that is speaking. It might just be someone that is sitting beside you, right? So just network with everybody generally. Second way would be communities. So there are communities on Slack, communities on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I guess. Um, Try to join communities. Um, Search for communities. Ask anybody that you know that is an engineer, a product manager, or product designer, and ask what communities are you in, right? What communities can I join? So join the communities, participate, be active, talk regularly. You'll definitely meet one or two people from there. Uh, Third way is I ask my friends, right? So if I have a software engineer that is working at somewhere, I ask the person, oh, what's your product manager like, right? How do you guys do product management there and all that? And then after talking, I'll be like, ah, connect me with this your product manager. Let me hear from him directly as well. And most of the time they do. I get the person's number and I speak to the person directly, right? So in that way, I'm also growing my network. Um, like Elizabeth said as well, if you put out your work, I think this is great for product designers, especially, and maybe front end devs. If you put out the work that you do on social media, people would reach out, comment, whatever, retweets, and then you can build a network from there as well. Lastly, reach out to people, right? If you see someone's work that you like on LinkedIn, on Twitter, reach out to the person and say, hey, I like this stuff that you did. I would love to learn how you did it or whatever. Try to build a connection from social media as well. You can reach out on LinkedIn, on Twitter, um, yeah, and try to connect with the person from there. So yeah, there are several ways. Anyone that works for you is fine.
All right, thank you. Lulu, you can ask a question. Lulu's from. If you are talking, you're muted. All right. So while we wait for Lulu's crown, let's just take the next one. Um, Soft skill often complements technical skill and technical know-how. What interpersonal skill do you believe is very important for excelling in no code tech careers, and how can I develop them?
Sorry, the question is bit confusing.
All right, so basically, the person is saying that soft skills are necessary as well, and it is very important for them to excel in their space. But how are they able to? What are the soft skills that is necessary, and how do you think they can build on that or develop that soft skill?
Uh, okay. How can you build soft skills? I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that because I'm trying to build mine as well. But yeah, I agree with the person. Soft skills are very important. Knowing how to communicate with people, how to relate in a workspace, whether you're working remotely or in person. There are different programs that teach about soft skills. I don't know if Jupiter has one, but that would be great. I know Jobberman had one before about on soft skills. But aside from courses, generally, I think just generally being a nice person, right, helps. So try to speak with your colleagues. If someone wants to share an idea on soft skills, that would be great. Because I don't know if I'm the best person to speak on soft skills, but yeah, try to relate well with people. Be a nice person. Communicate as frequently and as much as you can. Right? Communicate. There's nothing like over communicating. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Yeah. So, but I think I'll give the mic to Fumilayo to speak more on soft skills.
All right then, Fumilayo, please over to you, and you can just briefly introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Fumilayo. I came late actually, but thank God I came maybe because of this person. Okay, so for the soft skill thing, I'm also building my, but I'm going to share an idea of what is working for me. So personally, I'm trying to work on my product management, tech part, and all of that. So for the soft skill, what I do is I dedicate 1 hour for my time daily because this soft skill, if you look at it, it does not really require a lot of time like the tech career path skill we want to learn and all that. It does not really require a lot of time. What you just have to do is you just have to be consistent. Like I said, I dedicate like an hour of my time where I go to YouTube and watch videos on how to communicate with this person, like how to communicate basically, how to improve on my vocabulary. Because the sweet thing about this communication is it's not all about communicating. So there are some words you're saying, just saying those words alone. So it's not like the thing is you are brilliant like that, though, but the fact you are using some um I don't know if I should call it big grammar or something. People will look at you like they'll pay this attention to you and be like, they'll just have this feeling of this person must be smart and all that. So things like that, it could be like I said, just watch video. There are many of them out there. Some people don't even know how to look at camera aside from talking. Some people don't know how to look at the camera to talk. Maybe you're invited for a webinar, something like this now, and let's say you're meant to show your face and all that. Some people don't even know how to do that. The way they keep their face and all that, you think they're scared of the crowd and all that. So all of this is something you can just go to YouTube. You can learn from it. Just dedicate 1 hour of your time and be consistent with it. That's the whole thing. Be consistent with it. If it's to learn 5 new vocabulary words in a day, that's fine. Just take it gradually. And the sweet thing about soft skills is when you go out, try to, like he said, try to communicate with people. And the more you communicate with people, you will just notice that those things are they're already incorporating, they're aligning and all that. You just do it like even you when you've done it now be looking at yourself like I've done this thing. Oh. Do you get? So it will really really help. And join voluntary groups and all that where you have to talk. Don't stay mute because if you stay mute you can't showcase your whole communication skill you are learning. You're not practicing it basically. You won't even use the vocabulary words you are learning. So it's just like a waste of time. So endeavor to speak.
Thank you so much for your
You're welcome.
that was insightful. Other skill you can also try, soft skill you can also try to build is collaboration, empathy, like Samuel mentioned. So just be empathetic, right? And know how to take up something with little or less supervision, be able to know how to lead, be able to know how to collaborate with people, and then we cannot overemphasize the need to be nice and empathetic. That would open doors that you never can imagine, right? Or you never thought could happen. Sorry. Lulu's Crown, I think you can ask a question and then we take Manso. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, Manso. But Manso has a question. Lulu's Crown, over to you, please.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I need to change this. My name. My name is Asibi Rhodes. Um, First of all, I transitioned from medical as a medical lab scientist to product design, and it's been a journey so far, both challenging and sometimes it looks like it's going sweetly, but of course, I'll hit one stumbling block here and there and all of that. So I'm trying to okay, I've been trying to build a portfolio for a very long time now. At the same time, I just created a CV for this entry level. So my question now is it necessary? Is it necessary I get internship jobs or I just go ahead looking for jobs, um, either remote or on site and all of that. So I think my target is to get a job, but I don't know if I should focus more on internship. I should just apply jobs based on my entry level. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting question. Before I answer the question, I just want to thank Fumilayo for the perspective on soft skills. Learned one or two things from there as well, and Elizabeth as well. Um, sorry, Lulu's Crown. What's your name? So I don't see Lulu's Crown. Oluchi. Yeah.
Yes. Fine.
All right. Um,
All it is fine.
so I'm going to. So I have a friend, right, that started learning design. Um, his first job was not an internship. He was the only designer in the company. His second job um, was from a Nigerian company in a way, but he was earning serious money, like thousands of dollars, right? He's an exception, right? So people will not think that once you join tech, you start making crazy amount of money. It's an exception, but I just want to point out that anything can happen, right? There is no defined path, so you can hit the ground running and just get a fantastic job. You can see an internship, and the internship would be the stepping stone that you need to fly to greatness. But either ways, all of them is still a job, right? Except you are keen on like the financial compensation. I know different people have different circumstances in life, but if you're not keen on the financial compensation, right, I think the most important thing is the experience that you're going to get. So I wouldn't be bothered as to whether you're getting an internship or whether you're getting a full-time role or whatever it is, right? I'm happy that you've said that you are building your portfolio out and you have like a CV ready. I feel like it's really important. The portfolio most especially for designers, right? So you want to have somewhere where someone can look through and see, okay, does your design style match what I need, right? Do you have you shown that you pay attention to specific type of details that I require in my software? So I'll give an example. If I'm building a SaaS product as a product manager, right? Um, I want someone that would consider specific edge cases um, in their designs, right? So I want to see if this table is empty. Have you designed something for an empty state, right? If someone does something, what's error message that the person gets? So um, If somebody is doing like a filter by dates, how do you represent the dates and things like that, right? So I want to see that level of detail to know that, oh, you've thought far and wide as a designer, and you're not just doing um, landing pages, right? For now, if I need someone that is doing that, I want to do a landing page for me, right? I want to see that the person has done several landing pages and the person has is comfortable with mixing different types of colors, right? So the portfolio helps you speak volumes even more than your CV as a designer, in my opinion. Except when the person is looking up for like specific experience, maybe fintech or health tech, then the CV kind of shines there. But yeah, if I was the one in that position, or when I started my journey, rather, I prioritize experience over financial reward. Um, I'm looking at the internship or full time based on that. Um, but yeah, I would go for any experience that I could get. Once you see how you work, how you fit into a team, once you're able to actually design a real product that people use, then from there the sky's your limits, right? You can apply for anything that you want.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, concerning the internship roles now, I, how do I? Because it's honestly, is also be honest, it's difficult to even get
Mm-hmm.
internship roles.
To get
So
internships.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm in
I
Abuja
I agree with you
presently.
100%. Yeah,
Yes, so
I've been in that position before as well. But what I would say is, especially for designers, I feel design is probably one of the best positions you can be in, especially when you're starting out. I say that with a bias, but that's my opinion. Um, Share your work consistently. Keep on turning out good designs, great designs. Look at what other people are doing on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever, and try to match up what the big guys are doing, right? Try to replicate. So just randomly, I don't know how to explain, right? I can't remember these
I
people's names.
replicated Paystack, this thing, and
Yeah,
one
so
other.
something like that, right? So just try to replicate Paystack, or better still, yeah, look at a product. I don't know if products are possible, are popular now. Notion, Mail, WhatsApp, even Facebook, Instagram. Look at a product and say, what would I like this product to have differently? Or what would I like them to add? And try to design for that, right? So it helps your ministry, right? The person I was saying that moved from like 150 to $2K, the same process, right? He just kept on designing consistently, morning, afternoon, night. This guy is in his laptop designing, putting out different work, right? From the works he was putting out on Twitter, he was getting gigs. Before you know it, someone referred him to the job, got started earning big, right? So, but there is no doubt that he was consistent, like every single day, Monday to Saturday to Sunday, every day he was designing, right? So that consistency, and he grew. You will see the growth in his design, right? It was a lot better. So yeah, just be consistent, continue, right? I just believe that whenever you're consistent in what you're doing, the opportunity would always show up, right? It will definitely show up. So this goes to every other person. I know Bolaji was saying stuff around doing, I don't know if Bolaji is still here, but was saying stuff around doing product or project management. Manso wanted to do graphic design. Promise is doing product design as well, right? And Mary is doing graphic web design. I'm not sure which now, but yeah, just consistently work on whatever you're working on and try to put stuff out, right? Put stuff on Twitter, put stuff on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever. Just make sure that you're growing, you're consistent in what you're doing, and the opportunities will definitely come.
Um,
All right, thank you very much.
we said that together. And just to add again, sometimes opportunities don't come. Just go for it, right? So what I did at my early days was First, I showed up at Cracks TV, no interview date, nobody. I just went there dressed well, and they were even saying, "Oh, this person is not around. Do you want to call him?" Then that's when I was like, I don't know this person, no, but I'm looking for an internship. It didn't work out. Afterwards, I got his email, sent a follow up email to him to say, "Oh, this is what I can do, and this is what I can do differently for your brand." I got a response, but I didn't get internship because they were not looking for interns then. I also did another one, and they almost got me a job, but I had to turn it off, or I had to turn it down rather, to take something else. I just randomly messaged the co-founder or founder of one global company, and surprisingly, he responded to my Instagram message. It wasn't even LinkedIn. Responded to my Instagram message. I booked a call with him just to show him things that they are doing and how I could help improve what they are doing and the results they would get. And I got that opportunity. So aside doing this, or aside waiting for that opportunity, you can also go after it as well, right? Thank you so much.
All
Um,
right,
um,
thank you.
yeah, and I think Manso has a question. I'm not sure if it's still here, but he did mention something about being a graphics and web designer, and he says he wants to transition into a tech role, a no code tech role in the nearest future. Where would you start from? So the nearest future rather, where would you advise that it starts from if he's looking to transition? And if you could please share resources or any idea of how to get started. Yeah, I think I can calculate that. Samuel.
Uh, yeah, so it would highly depend on what he wants to do. There are so many no code roles. There's design, there's products, data. There's an aspect of data that is no code. There's an aspect that you code. Marketing, tech sales. I'm trying to think of as many. There are no code web developers as well. No code web development tools. People that use Webflow, WordPress. There's a lot. So I don't see tech companies as a separate kind of company, right? Just like how you have a bank, you have an oil company, right? Is a company. There are accountants in almost every company. There are lawyers in almost every company. There are people that do sales. There are people that do marketing, right? Um, the only thing is that in tech companies, the IT people, quote unquote, the tech people are more pronounced, right? They have more tech people because their solutions are more software, hardware based, technology based, right? But yeah, you can fit into tech in any way you want to do. If you want to do marketing, digital marketing, business development, business analysis, research, strategy, partnership management, design, product management, analytics. There are so many things that you can do, right? Just pick anyone. I want to say cybersecurity too, but it could get technical. But yeah, any 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 field, anyone you pick, right? Just double down on it, and yeah, the opportunities will come. Or like Elizabeth said, go for the I really like what Elizabeth said. By the way, it's something I've done myself. So like, message people on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere, right? And um, try to avoid the hi, hello, good morning. This one, just go straight into what value you can provide to them, right? Just imagine yourself as the owner of Flutterwave, right? You have regulators breathing down your neck. You have investors that want you to grow money, and somebody's messaging you, "Hi, good morning. So how are you doing today?" You really don't have time for that, right? But if someone messages you and says, "I know how I can grow your revenue by 50x tomorrow morning," yeah, even though you know that is madness, you'll be like, "What? Tell me. I want to know," right? So if you present them with value on the value that you can give to them, they will definitely have your time, right? But Um, Manso is no longer here, so I don't know if I've answered this question. But yeah, just whichever part you pick, design, development. I always advise people whatever you pick first, just go on Google and learn about that role. So if you pick design, go on Google and research what does a product designer do. Just learn about the role. Go on YouTube, learn about the role. In your journey on learning about the role, you will see resources, right? You will see links to videos on YouTube. You will see free courses. Try with the free ones first. Just have a high level overview, right? Once you go, you would naturally lead yourself down the rabbit hole of resources, right? You connect with people, you discover things, right? So just start from learning about what the role entails. You find resources, you build your skills from there. Yeah. He's not here, so I don't know if I answered the question well, but yeah.
Yes,
Fumilayo. So
yes, it is, and I'm sure it's going to be recognized as well. Formula.
Okay, please, I would like to ask a question. When you were talking to, I don't know her name, but I can see Lulu there, where you stated that we should, she should try to replicate designs and all that. For a
mhm.
product manager now, that we don't do the whole design thing and all of that, how do we get to replicate some of these things? How, what is that motivation that can keep us consistent doing our work? Because like I said, I'm also an entry level product manager, so I'm trying
Yeah.
to prioritizing my experience over the
Mhm.
finances also. So what are these things that a product manager can do? How do
So
we
for
get
me,
yeah.
all honesty, is hard for us, right? It's difficult for product managers because you really can't show anything in a way. Um, for designers, they can show that, oh, I can design. For developers, they can show, oh, I can develop something. For product managers, what can you show? Um, but there are actually things that we can try to show, right? So you have, you can explain that and evidence, right? But so what you can do is similar to product designers, try and pick a product that you know, or try and pick an industry, right? I think doing products now is can be kind of shallow, but try and pick an industry, right? So I'll look at the fintech industry in Nigeria. What are the challenges, right? What are possible solutions? And try to look at the solutions end to end. So somebody can drop a question and be like, why has QR payments not actually gone mainstream in Nigeria, right? In China, everybody uses QR to pay. Why is it not the same in Nigeria? What are the actual problems, right? Try to use data to back it up. Yeah. Um, I feel like for product managers, courses actually help a lot. Why? Because the people that you do courses with, they try to help you learn internship roles as well. So people like Jupiter Academy, I don't want to mention others because this is Jupiter Academy space. But yeah, if you do courses with them, they try to help position you in companies where you can also get internships. So that's a second way. So courses, trying to analyze industries, products, see where there are gaps and where what solutions you can prefer, right? Then I think third way would be to just network, join communities. So for product managers, I recommend people in products. So I don't know if you're in the community, but join people in product community, product dive community, product managers Africa. Um, there are other international communities. I'll try to get names and share, but join communities, right? And share all those things that you do on closing gaps and whatever. Write articles if possible, and share them online, right? Um, Share them with those communities. Let people see that you're actually thinking about this in a good way or in a nice way, right? I think when companies have openings for junior product managers, that's also something that you can add maybe in your CV as references or things like that that they can look at. Um, for me personally, I've not hired a lot. I don't think I've hired any product manager before. But if I was to hire a product manager, I want someone that is enthusiastic about that space. I think that's one key highlight. So curiosity, right? So if you are working in fintech, why do you want to work in fintech? Because fintech can be very tiring, right? Um, so why do you want to work in fintech? Why do you want to work in e-commerce? What do you know about e-commerce? What do you know about fintech? Who are the players in the space? Um, what's the market? So for e-commerce, for example, what's Jumia's market share in the industry? Why does Jumia have the market share? So just try to do like in-depth analysis into these markets and try to put out think pieces. I say these things because I wanted to do them once, right? It's not easy to do. I started one and I was not consistent, right? But luckily for me, I was referred somewhere. So again, network. And like I mentioned earlier, there is a bit of luck in these things. But yeah, the stuff I actually put out got me some attention. So it actually helps, right? Um, I hope I've been of help, Fumilayo. I don't know how much I can say about product managers. It's not easy for us, to be honest.
Yeah, you've been of help because I was really trying my possible best to write fast, and it's really helpful. At least I got some insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I also just wanted to say something. I have a friend that is also a product manager, entry level though. And one of the things that got her current position to where she is currently is because she shared a lot. In fact, I also knew she was a product manager and I would
Mhm.
share openings. So she would write everything she was learning and even share more about certain things. So it seemed like, okay, this person understands what she's doing
Yeah.
and what this thing is. So yeah, you should also document your learning. It's very important, whether you're a product designer or not. Always document it. Yeah, I still have more questions, but it's not time again. Samuel, if you wouldn't mind, we can always have. We also do Twitter Spaces, and we can invite you and take some of these questions. Right. So thank you so much
No
for.
problem. I hope I have been of help to everyone here, and the 1 hour plus that we spent is not time wasted. But yeah, looking forward to sharing as much as I can anytime.
All right, thank you. And yes, it was your session was quite insightful. I also had notes that to take down. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. So yeah, thank you. And to anyone looking to get started, good thing is that we currently are offering a 60% scholarship to anyone that wants to start a career in data analysis, data science, product management, and product design with um, Argo Health. So you just get to pay just 40,000 naira because time has gone. I might not just be able to take walk us through all of the processes, but some of the things that you should look out for when you are looking to enroll in a tech what's it called, a tech school or an academy, is that you have to be sure that they have access to trained professionals, people that are experienced in this, and they definitely can tell you what is currently working and what is not, and that your instructors understand the principles guiding whatever course you are currently going for. And then if there's one thing about learning on your own is that you learn from, you make mistakes and then you just learn. And I'm sure some of the experts or top guys we have made those mistakes. So one of the good thing about an academy or enrolling in an academy is that you do not get to do the old trial and error. You learn from their mistakes and then you know what to do better. You also have access to mentors. So it's one thing learning your course, it's another thing being mentored by people that already have the experience and then they can tell you how or what to do or what not to do. Having course mates is super important. See, the role earlier I had said, I also transitioned, and to date I have classmates where if there are issues I can easily go to my classmates and then ask, have you experienced this? What's your idea? What's your take on this? Then job opportunities as well, referrals, and having a community that cannot be overemphasized, right? And you also should look out for if the academy know what is working now in your industry and a certificate that is internationally recognized, not just something that I mean certification would really help, especially with your LinkedIn, right? So, like I said, we currently offer UI/UX design, that's product design, product management, data analysis, data science. Our product design, product management, and data analysis is for 8 weeks, while our data science course is for 10 weeks. So, if you are looking to get started, you can sign up with Jupiter Academy. I will share a link with you shortly. Um, and I also would like to note or talk more on how we run our programs. They are 100% virtual, and we have pre-recorded courses from Monday to Friday. Saturdays are for live classes where you get to interact with your course instructor and your course mates. We also do peer-to-peer learning and workshops, right? So you can join our Slack, or if you are not comfortable doing that yet, you can follow us on LinkedIn so you are aware of the webinars we host every week. We also do Twitter Spaces every week. So if you can't, or you are still trying to get a hang of this, you can just start with joining webinars, have an idea, hear from people, hear them talk. So yeah, it was nice meeting everybody today, and I hope to see you next time. Yeah. I would share the link. So if you have any inquiries, you can just drop it here and I'll personally reach out to you. I would also share emails with you at the end of this. I can't wait to see you all in our Slack community. All right.
All right, Elizabeth, looking forward to joining.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.